welcome back to another episode of Buffalo Happy Hour. Mike, what's going on?
Oh, Derek, we're back over at our friends at Addie's, Transit Road in Williamsville, and we have a new friend, new guest, and a totally new lineup, which we're super excited for, just because there's some options, 5 of them. So we'll start with introductions, and then we'll dive into all things whiskey.
All right. Well, hey, happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Shout out Tyler Malone at Addie's for getting this all set up. But so I'm Paul Masello, based out of Syracuse, but I work for this company called Western Spirits. You may have known or may have heard of Bird Dog Whiskey or Calumet Farm Bourbon, but those are our 2 biggest brands that we carry. Everything's Kentucky, and they make good stuff. So we'll dive into it whenever you want. Do you need anything else from me? Any more?
No, it's perfect. So you're out of Syracuse. We're in Buffalo, obviously, right now with Addie's. So what got you involved with the brand?
You know what? My sister.
Oh, yeah?
I went to college for, believe it or not, civil engineering, where I switched over to biology, psychology. I went into healthcare, and I decided I didn't like that, even though I graduated with a psych and bio degree. But my sister actually is a Southern Glazers rep. Past tense, was a Southern Glazers rep for Syracuse. And once COVID hit, she was laid off, and this company actually reached out to her, offered her the job, but she turned it down, but said, hey, I have a brother. And it worked out perfect because I was looking for a job. This was about a year and 4 months ago. So, I mean, that's where I am. I love the company. I've been with them for a while, and like I said, I love supporting these brands because they sell themselves. They make great stuff. So here I am.
So civil engineering, what did you want to do?
What did I want to do?
Yeah, like with the civil engineering degree, what does that mean?
Oh, you know what? I couldn't tell you. I was a civil engineering degree for probably 6 months in Florida too. So, I mean,
okay.
It was hard to study, Florida Gulf Coast, and I actually transferred back up here to St. John Fisher, where I finished with the psych and bio.
Oh, yeah,
so
sure.
I switched over. But yeah, civil engineering, they build things. That's pretty much that pretty much is what it is. You know, bridges, structural, things like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So have you been like a salesperson before? Like what's your background in getting into something like this?
So I did have a little bit of a little bit something before this. There was St. Lawrence Spirits. I'm not sure if you've heard of, you have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they're up in Clayton, New York, and Thousand Islands. And my sister found the job and asked me, hey, they're hiring, and I got in with them as a sales / brand ambassador. They make a bunch of whiskey too. Their Empire Cream is very good. If you ever get a chance to find that,
Yes.
try that. Better than Bailey's, we like to say. But that didn't last too long. Actually, it's funny because I started with that out of college, and then I went into healthcare, and now I'm back into this. So
Sure.
So I've been everywhere. It's been hectic, but I'm glad I am where I am now. So
Well, good for you, man.
Yeah.
So let's quickly touch on this lineup just so we can kind of go over things, and then we can touch on as we taste and all that, go on price. But what is this? If I'm brand new to this brand, what is it? What am I looking for?
So you're looking at a straight Kentucky bourbon, Calumet Farm. The actual, this is a horse racing farm in Kentucky where they breed and race horses. They train horses. They actually, I was pulling it up, we're going to have out of the farm 2 Triple Crown winners, 8 Kentucky Derby winners. Yeah, they're a well-known farm. Actually, maybe 9 Kentucky Derby winners because last year's Kentucky Derby winner came from this farm.
Wow.
Rich Strike, I believe. I don't know if you've watched the race, but lowball. No one expected this horse to win, but he did. If you put like $20 on the horse, you would have won 800, something crazy.
Wow.
And I normally don't bet, but I would have in this case. Those odds were incredible. So well-known horse racing farm, but he kind of slapped on the farm that he owns, the label where the bourbon comes out of Bardstown. Yeah. So very good looking labels. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Sam Houston bourbon. You never heard of that? So Sam Houston was our other brand that we discontinued. We had a 14, 15 year bourbon. But again, very similar. They were distilled in Barton's
Okay.
Now everything's Bardstown. So
Sure.
the older stuff you'll be tasting Barton's more, and then the newer stuff Bardstown.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it's a Bardstown product, not MGP.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah, I mean the labels are absolutely stunning. You have the red, the red for the 8-year,
Yep.
the green for the small batch, blue you have 10-year, and then the two blacks are the 15 and 16.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're stunning labels.
I mean, they like scream prestige and wealth.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only way to really describe that.
Yeah. And I mean, they do well, in areas, that Saratoga specifically, they kill it with these because of, the horse racing up there, and, the wealth up there. But people, other than, judge a book by its cover, good stuff. I'm excited to share with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're also different. I know, you get your 8-year, more entry level small batch, which is a blend of the 8-year and our 15-year.
Oh, okay.
10-year I shouldn't say brand new. This has been around, our newest one, couple of months, 5 months. And then the 15, 16-year black label, 19 barrels, non-chill filter. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they're pretty small batch too.
Yes, they are.
That's awesome. Well, you want to start with the 8, and we'll try them out. What's your favorite? What do you normally gravitate towards?
It's funny because out of the whole lineup, the 8-year is my favorite, and it's ironically the cheapest. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's so tasty. It's 90 proof. It's sweet to me. It's a very easy sipper. I am not gonna lie. I'm kind of new to bourbon still, so it's I guess just an easy sipping bourbon for me, and it doesn't hurt the bank as much. But
Sure.
The small batch, I see a lot of people lean towards because of the value. You get your 8-year, about 30 barrels of the 8-year mixed with 30 barrels of our 15-year. Then we just water it down a little bit to get that proofing down. But a lot of people have been gravitating towards that one.
Sure.
But yeah, like I said, if you wanna pour right now and
Yeah, sure.
go right at it.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, feel free.
Yeah, because I'm not very familiar with Calumet. I've seen it a couple times. Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah, you could put it towards your face maybe a little bit more. Yeah,
There it is.
It's a beautiful thumbnail right there too. So I've seen it on the shelves, and honestly, I was like, I've never even heard of this brand before. It looks super expensive, and then I looked at the price, and I think it was probably the small batch, where I'm like, okay, it's pretty affordable. So when you go into a liquor store to sell this, is this the first one that you're like, try this out? Like when you come to Addie's and you're like, hey Tyler, you haven't heard of this brand before, try something. Is this the one that you put in their face?
This usually is the one I
want
pull
some?
out. What was that?
You want some?
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
it does.
It's the end of the
Absolutely. It's a
day. I'll take
podcast. Yeah.
I got it.
So yeah, this is the first one that you pull out for them?
First one I pull out, maybe I'll accidentally pull out the 15-year first.
Sure.
Just to, get that pappy looking, the 15-year out. And they're like, oh, wait, what's that? So, then I'll mention, oh, we have, 3 others in the bag, 4 others in the bag.
Sure.
And that strikes the conversation. But, yeah, the 8-year, again, my favorite. You could be honest, it's night and day with these. Everyone's palate's different. I know, if everyone's palates was the same, we'd have one bourbon. But
Right.
the 8-year and the small batch specifically for the price point are, again, very different. I get 50% of people like the 8-year more, 50% like the small batch more, and you can kind of be the judge, really.
Yeah. Well, cheers, man.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So from a price standpoint, what are we talking about here?
8-year right now, you're looking at $45.99 on the shelf. So, again, fairly reasonable. You're getting, again, an 8-year bourbon.
You're right. It is very sweet.
Right, yeah.
You know what's interesting? Because you said St. Lawrence, maybe that's in my mind, but this goes down so buttery smooth like St. Lawrence does, like that same characteristic that St. Lawrence whiskey has,
Yeah.
where it just kind of like velvety goes across the first part of your tongue and you get all the flavor notes in the second half. That's really sweet.
Yeah,
But for $45.99, you said?
Yeah, around there, yeah.
It's pretty good. Do you know any of the specifics of like the mash bill of any of this stuff or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually kind of funny. The whole line is the same mash bill. So you're looking at 74% corn, 18% rye, 8% malted barley.
Okay.
So the whole lineup, same mash bill, and all of them are made with 50 barrels or less.
Oh, wow.
Yep, all of them. Yep.
Do you know why the 50 barrels was kind of their cutoff point?
No, I guess they just wanted kind of a more premium bourbon, and I guess they wanted it. The less barrels they use, the more uniform they all taste, and the more better I feel like. But I couldn't tell you why they use 50 barrels or less. They just It's a good selling point for them, though.
That's really good.
It is. It reminds me a lot of Strange Collaboration with Three Chord as well. Like the same fruity notes, but it kicks better because no pun intended.
The horse kick. Nailed it. That was a good job.
Thanks,
I like
dude.
that one.
You know, I'm trying to be a dad. But it kicks better just because of the whole Kentucky aspect of it. Like you're just gonna get that whole aging element from Kentucky. It's kind of bringing out a little bit more heat, and then it's just, I mean, it's buttery and it's velvety, but there's like fruit notes to it to make it as sweet as it is.
So the owner, is that who's going and picking out the barrels from Bardstown?
Yeah. How does that element work?
You know what? So Brad Kelly, he owns the company, and everything the company does goes, has to go through him. He, I believe, reserved around 40,000 barrels. So that's we have had those barrels for a while. Obviously, you're looking at 15, 16. But our master distiller Steve Kelly, have you heard of that name before? Mm-mm. Steve, he's well known too. I should already know this, but Steve Nally, actually, I believe his name is Steve Nally. But he's well known. He was with someone before. He's Steve Nally. Yes, he's so he's with Bardstown now. But he was with this well-known brand before Bardstown. So I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's he's kind of famous in a way, the bourbon. But so I guess he oversees everything, and really it's just everything. I guess he's the guy. So, but our owner Brad Kelly, he's in and out. I feel.
Yeah. But. Because going to, and for the audience that doesn't understand necessarily the sourcing aspect of getting whiskey, you have to go to a place that distills the whiskey, and then you pick which ones you want to put into your bottle, basically, and make it your own blend, because this is technically a blended whiskey. So in order to have that, you're basically tasting someone's palate at this point, because you're not the one doing the distilling, but you're going there, trying all these different barrels and batches and stuff like that to bring home and make your own blend. So I really like this, and I just it's interesting to know who's going and doing this portion of it, because their palate is very good in my opinion.
It is, and it reaches such a large clientele, because a lot of people don't want the heat. A lot of people like the sweet note when it comes to whiskey, especially if you're trying to transition into becoming a whiskey drinker. So having this as a great staple, and it's less than $50, that's massive.
Yeah,
that's massive.
Thank you. And it 90 proof too, so it's it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't taste like that. That's why I like it so much. But
it doesn't taste like that. And if this was 80, I feel like it would be too sweet. So that's really interesting that it's 90.
Yeah,
and 50 barrels too. You're probably going to get a lot of differences between each one too. If it's only 50 barrels, it's pretty small. This is really good though. I can see why somebody would want this. Or this would be your staple to say, hey, at least try this before we go into these other ones, because this is a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about the differences between the 850 barrel and the 8 small batch, which is 8 and 15, what's the price difference between those two again?
Not far off. So at Addie's, you're looking, like I said, the 8-year, you're looking at around 45, 46. The small batch, which again, you get the 8 and the 15, you're looking at 40 or $54.99. So not even, around a $10 difference, but you are, like I said, getting a 15-year in this, it's the value's there. And again, like I said, a lot of people gravitate towards this one. Go right ahead and pour that for yourself, because it's night and day, like I tell you.
So you said 30 barrels of each go into it? You're
looking at, around 30 barrels of the 8, 20 barrels.
Oh, gotcha.
15,
50 makes sense.
Yeah.
They put the mash bill right on the back of the label too.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a neat touch.
I don't know if you've seen our old bottles before. The let me pull one up, but because
this is 86 proof.
Yeah, so it is.
Damn.
It is lower in proof.
Popped right out, doesn't it?
And the 15 is 105 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
And then 16 is 106.
That's
my proof. That's my proof point, baby.
Oh, that's what you like, yeah.
Yeah.
So these are what the bottles used to look like.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like a 1792 vibe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and then they went full vertical. I like that a lot.
Which, I mean, you kind of expect, these are more store friendly.
Yeah.
These take up probably 2.
Yeah, especially in a bar too.
Yeah.
If you're trying to fit these bottles in a bar, it's much easier from a shelf standpoint.
Absolutely. They're good looking bottles, but
Yeah, they are.
they take up some. Yeah, I'll just do these 2.
This is cool. Cheers.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Wow. Yeah, that is very different. The first one was very velvety and sweet. This one's kind of like rye, peppery, and kind of, I don't know which one I like better.
There's a splash of vanilla in it, though.
Yeah.
I like this one better.
Yeah.
But I'm also on a rye kick right now, so it kind of makes sense because I'm just like, I'm really pushing for pepper.
Oh, okay.
It's just that time of year. It's just, we're going from 70 degrees to 46 degrees. So it's just one of those things. You can't beat a rye
Understandable.
when the weather's unbelievably bipolar.
But people do say this one has a little bit more spice to it, which I definitely understand. But
Yeah. So when you again go into these stores, how do you differentiate these two? Just by that, like this is sweet, this is spice?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everyone's palate's different. Some people,
Yeah.
some people say this one has more, spice, and I'm like, you know what? I understand. Everyone's different, but I let them sell themselves. I say, just try it. Let me know what you think. But I always add, the 8 and 15 blend because you look at a lot of small batches, you don't get a blend of 2 different ages. I can't really name a bourbon that does that, but.
Well, because people think that, I mean, you're putting a premium whiskey, which is 15 years old, blending it with an 8-year-old and selling it at basically an 8-year-old price. So a lot of other distillers would be like, oh, that's not, I don't want to do that. But when in reality, it's just an age. I mean, it's just how old the whiskey is. So if you're combining it with something sweeter, I'm assuming this is probably going to be very spicy. Haven't tried it yet, obviously, but I'm assuming that it is going to be. I mean, you're just getting a whole different line basically without changing the mash bill, which is so cool.
They're so gentle. These first 2 are so gentle.
Yeah, exactly. They just, you just want to sit and sip. That's all you want to do.
And there's just, it's a high hug, but it's not overpowering. Like there's almost, the ethanol effect is very nil. So it's super welcoming from a lineup perspective. Yeah. I'm excited for the last 3, but I feel like these first 2 are just kind of like, hey, there are flagships. They're always going to be a thing, right? Relatively speaking, but we're not trying to break the bank. I'm not trying to put anybody over the top. And then I'm like, here's your sweet, here's your spice. And then that way I can fit both of the markets. I just feel like they're really, really well made. Yeah. It's balanced. So far the lineup is very balanced.
Hey, thank you. Hey, we're two down, 3 more to go.
So when did Calumet start again?
The actual farm?
No, the whiskey portion of it.
Oh my goodness.
More than 16 years ago.
Well, no, because they're Bardstown.
Like I said, we started with Sam Houston.
Right, sure.
So we had those barrels sitting for all those years that we reserved, and then we started bottling it. Sam Houston was our first, real bourbon brand. Bird Dog started 2010. That's when we first started with the Blackberry, and that's a 4-year age statement. So you're looking, before. Oh my goodness.
So early 2000s?
Yeah, just about Sam Houston.
So Calumet owns those 3?
So same company, same mother. So Western Spirits. Okay. They keep things new and exciting.
I got what you're saying. Yeah. Because I'm wondering if Calumet would ever go away from Bardstown and distill themselves. Do you have any idea?
I do not know. No.
Because that would be interesting, and you see that a lot where people start with blended stuff and then try to make it their own. But I mean, it's interesting because you're again sourcing whiskey, and the way that they do it with their 8 and so far their small batch, it seems to be working with those 2. And I don't know, do you break that?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Just because you have such a good foundation that I don't think it's worth the leap.
Right.
No pun intended.
Geez, you're all for it, huh? So these labels, because I'm really fascinated by labels. Part of when we do a Wednesday whiskey review, we rate the label and branding aspect of it.
Okay.
So we try to dissect the labels and figure some stuff out. And to me, I mean, this would be like an A++, dude.
I agree.
This is really good.
I might go a little higher.
So-
I might go A++ Jack.
Do the horses on the 4 here have any significance? Like, are these past Derby winners that they've put on?
A few, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, I'm looking at the 8 year. You can read about it as well. But on the back, you know, it says William Wright established Calumet Farm in 1924. And then, you know, kind of, this is kind of like the history of, you know, over the decades, the farm produced 2 Triple Crown, you know, all that stuff. But on some specific bottles, I think, yes, this one right here. So you're looking at, does this one not say it? I don't believe so. Okay, I know the 10 year does, but on the 10 year, you see down here, Bully. That was That was one of the Triple Crown winners.
There we go.
And then again on the back, you can read at the 2 week long 1936 Saratoga Yearling.
That's cool.
Yeah, so all the bottles, each one's different. Whirl Away. This is a well known. A lot of people know Whirl Away, the horse. And,
I've heard of that one.
Yep, 1941 Kentucky Derby right there. Ben Jones. So again, a lot of history with the farm.
A++ Jack, dude.
Yeah, A++ check.
Yeah.
It's really cool how the whole label is constructed, because one of the things too is you can get labels that are very busy, and there's a lot of different style fonts on this too, but the way that it's presented is like very classy.
Extremely it's got to look good inside of someone's collection. And I also love the color of the juice.
It's very dark.
It's a super nice color.
Yeah, thank you. And you can. It's funny because as you look at them, you can't see much because of the labels. But from my viewpoint, it's light amber, and this is just wood.
Straight dark.
Yeah, I'm so excited to drink it.
Yeah, but hey, that leads us to the 10, which is like I said, our newest out of the lineup. Newest 6 months we released it, but this starts the non-chill filter. So I'm sure you've heard of non-chill filter. And
So these were chilled filtered?
these, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
So yeah.
What's the price on this at Addie's?
You're looking at $72.99 for this 10 year.
Okay, so 73 bones. When did Addie's pick up the lineup?
You know what? I would say a couple months ago. I've been bothering Tyler since November.
Yeah, a little bit of tenacity coming in here. Yeah,
I've been coming in every so often. I hear he likes seeing suppliers, and that's usually not the case. I'll be honest. I'll be in some stores and they'll just be like, why are you here? They don't. I don't want to say have time, but I just pop in. It's my job to kind of
maintain facing relationships.
Yep. But some stores just don't prefer that. Yeah, they don't want it.
Which is interesting because it's not just like from a customer service standpoint, but it's also just understanding the relationships. Like it's nice because Addie's is family owned and that they're built on good relationships and good people just doing their jobs and everybody working extremely hard. And that's very similar between, Syracuse, Rochester, and Buffalo. It's like the 3 namesake cities outside of New York City is built on like grit and just blue collar and just being down to earth and normal.
Yep.
So to have that element, that's business. Like that's good business. And pretty much everybody's opinion across Buffalo. It's like we want to know who we're working with and what these people are all about.
Absolutely, and that's why I love stopping in here because every time I'm in Buffalo, I make it a point to just stop in, just say hi at least. Tyler forgets what they taste like every few weeks. So
At least that's what he says.
That's what he says, but I help him revisit and. So the 10 year, back to this is 100 proof, so it jumps up a little bit. And the non-chill filter, 50 barrels. It's not bottle and bond, but non-chill filter, 100 proof. That's what it is. Same mash bill as the other 2. People tend to say this has more heat, but
yeah, it makes your gums tingle a little bit in the upper part of your lip. You start tingling.
This makes me happy inside. This makes me
you
happy,
like
Paul.
that? Yep.
I do. So for Derek and I, our fans know this, but if somebody's watching and they're just a massive fan of the brand, cheers and welcome. But our proof point is basically 1 to 120. Like 100 to 120 is like ideal, just because now you're getting a lot more barrel characteristics. You're touching on a lot more wood sugars, caramel, and especially for Kentucky, those are the three main elements that you're going to start to pick up at that proof point. So it's just really exciting to dabble and then figure out like what this brand is all about. And they understand that $70 is a lot for a bottle. Like they're asking a lot for their fans and their audience and their customers to fork over for a single bottle of whiskey. What are we going to give them? It's I mean, the fact that we're able to sit here and carry on an entire conversation is great because most times, specifically at this proof point, it's so much like viscosity that you just got to like continuously swallow to figure out, and it's just forcing you to salivate. Whereas with this, it's still super gentle. This does not drink like 100 proof. And in my mind, maybe because I have a problem, but this is for research, so I'm just doubling down on the fact that I am fine.
Well, what's interesting is having this after the small batch, because the small batch is very light in comparison, being only 86. This to me tastes like a 110. Because I'm getting, like, I haven't had a sip in probably like about a minute and a half now, and my lips are still tingling from it.
Really?
Which is very...
You're soft after your honeymoon?
No, I've been drinking scotch for the past 2 weeks, man. I ain't soft. But this actually tastes more like... Not in a bad way either. Like, I like the way that it's coating my mouth in that aspect, but to me, it is kind of stinging a little bit more than I would expect.
Is it really?
Yeah.
For me, it's like still gentle and soft.
Yeah.
That's why we're different, bro.
I don't have a problem. Again, I don't have a problem. I appreciate this brand and I love their juice. So far, their juice is really good. It's just honest feedback from one fan to the next.
Yeah, right.
You know, they can take what this as what they want.
So you said that you're from Syracuse. You're in Buffalo now. You come here like about every month, you'd say?
Yeah.
Kind of around there?
It's kind of weird. I'm the account manager for New York State.
Okay.
So I oversee all of New York, even Metro, which, I mean, I should be getting down there a little more, but it's, a whole different world. You would know New York City is just, insane. But upstate.
That's a lot for one person, dude.
It is. But there's a guy in Long Island, Peter Choi. Shout out if he watches this podcast. I'll shout it to him. But he's in Long Island, so he oversees more of that Long Island, which is also big, and New York City. But I do got to get down to New York City more because that is my territory. But yes, upstate. I'm in. I was just in Albany last week. I'm in Buffalo this week. I'll be in Syracuse, Rochester, Plattsburgh, Southern Tier, New York. I'm everywhere. It is tiring, but it's so rewarding, and I love promoting the brand wherever I can go.
You're just crushing that company car.
Yeah. Pretty much. No, I don't have a company car.
Oh, it's just you?
It's just me. Yeah.
Yeah, you just get mileage.
Just killing it.
Yep, my mileage. They give me every mile, and then that's it.
Yeah, you just get after it.
So we're really fortunate here in Buffalo with a ton of liquor stores. I mean, this place is mobbed.
Yep.
What is your perspective from Buffalo to New York City? Like that entire stretch from a Calumet standpoint, where are you more focused? Is it Buffalo?
I'm not kidding. Calumet, Buffalo is our biggest Calumet market. I'm not even joking. New York City would absolutely kill it with Calumet. It's just, so
saturated.
It is, and it's just a lot. I can't even tell you my personal, opinion. I've been to the city. I'm not kidding, once or twice.
Oh, really?
And obviously people are less friendly down there, so it's it's hard to just kind of stroll in. Hey, you like bourbon? And yeah, in New York City, you're looking at 10 stores on one block, and so. I plan on getting down there more often, and hopefully the Calumets will be taken off. We actually have an event in Elmont, New York, which is I think it's a horse racing farm. Yeah, the Belmont. That's what it's called, and that's in a month, not even a couple of weeks, that I'll be in. And the Calumet, we're lucky enough to get into that event, so we're going to be tasting some of these, and the promoting will hopefully sell around that area more. People will be asking for it in New York City, and that's kind of what helps sell if people ask for it. So
it really is wild traveling the 90, and for those that don't know,
such a boring drive.
It is. It's such a boring drive. It's a 2-lane. It's a highway for those out of state, but it's a throughway for us, right? Speaking locally, 2 lanes, and then if there's an accident, you're screwed.
Yep.
So then you're just sitting there. It's not exciting. And then you're walking into anything possible and saying, please just drink my juice. Like I give you credit, man. It's a tough job.
It is, but like
It's
I
a
said,
tough job.
it's rewarding because seeing people's reactions, at least, when they see the bottles, taste them, that's, how it helps me. But it's, great company, great guys to work for. So
Do you guys do like single barrel options?
we do not. No,
Okay.
and I don't believe we will be.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you why, but it's just something we
Well,
don't
you only
do.
got 50 barrels.
Yeah, yeah, and we keep reserving too, and I'll tell you in a second. Once we get to the black labels, which we should actually, are you set with the 10?
Yeah, we're good.
Go right ahead for the 15.
Yeah.
But we are reserving. We're reserving more barrels. We actually we have a 7-year small batch Bird Dog, which absolutely does phenomenal in New York State, but everywhere else, not so well. But
No kidding.
I don't think that's why they're discontinuing it, because they are. I woke up to an email, hey, it's going away, and I was very upset because again, New York State does very well with it. But we're reserving barrels for other things to come with the company, so I'm excited.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that leads us to the 15 black label single rack, 19 barrels.
So what do we know about this? Same mash bill.
Same mash bill. Again, non-chill filter. These two, now you're looking at Barton's distillate.
Okay.
So, the old Barton's, a lot of good stuff came out of there. But you're looking at single rack we take from. So, not one up, not one down, one rack, 19 barrels. Surprisingly, we get some juice out of those barrels because you're looking at 15 years sitting in a barrel. We'll open some of these barrels and they'll be that much whiskey, and you'll maybe 3 bottles worth. But so yeah, 19 barrels, non-chill filter, not same as this 19 barrels, but this jumps up to 105 proof, and
This is basically as close to a single barrel as you can get.
How much does this cost at Eddie's?
at Addie's you're looking at the 15-year 150 about.
Allocation or no?
No, I don't like saying allocations because we've never been allocated. But right now, the 16-year you can't get, not because we're allocated, but because we're reserving barrels for potentially a 100-year anniversary 18-year bottle.
Oh,
Yes. So
That's going to be sweet.
That will be sweet.
This is so butter heavy, and it's so good.
this is literally as close to a single barrel as you can get.
No
This is
doubt.
coming from the same rack.
Yeah.
So you're getting the same exact, basically angel share, because you're not changing where in the rick house this is being pulled from.
Yeah. Dude, this is really good.
See, now to me,
It's silk.
this is 105. This is significantly less proof than the 101.
Okay.
And that's what I was saying by this is like at 110, 112.
Derek.
You know?
All right, Derek. What I'm going to say is the 10 drinks harder than the 15, and the 15 is soft in comparison to a 10 and a 15. This lineup is amazing. I want Tyler's job.
Yeah. It's really cool because being in the industry, you rarely get to have a situation where you have 5 bottles laid out of different years with the same exact mash build.
Correct.
So you and I are able to go from an 8-year, which was extremely sweet and soft and butter heavy, to a 10-year that drank heavier than 100 proof, but still had those extreme pepper notes, to a 15-year that's like this well-rounded enveloped package that goes back to kind of the smooth roots and the sweet roots that the 8-year had, which it's very cool to sit on this side of the table and drink them all, because you can then pick up these variances and figure out that mash bill means something, but 70% of the characteristics come from the barrel. And if you're aging it basically double as long, it's going to be a different process. And it's going to taste significantly different. This is very good.
It's delicious.
So far, this one is definitely my favorite.
Thank you.
I agree.
And this going back to the small batch that I said, I think that this is probably going to be peppery. I actually wouldn't have guessed this taste because I would have thought that the 10-year would have been in that.
Agreed.
Based off of how I
feel
tasted.
I feel like these should be switched,
Yeah.
and they're not, which is weird.
Which is really cool.
The 15 should taste like the 10, and the 10 should taste like the 15, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good sweet spot. I think 10-year, 12-year, good sweet spot. But,
Do you? That's I kind of wanted to ask that. Obviously, none of us are going to have that answer. But why 10 over 12?
I don't know. And we did have a 12. It was in those stocky bottles that I showed you.
Yeah.
We had a 12-year, and actually our old small batch was a mix of the 8 and the 14-year that we carried. And RIP the 14-year, because that, when I tell you it was everyone's favorite, it was everyone's favorite. I missed
Why did
that.
they get rid of it?
Again, they keep things new and exciting. You know, every year we have all these barrels reserved. They just come out. So the 16-year came out last April. A year ago. And next year will be the 18-year, because we didn't do anything this year. So we just keep reserving barrels. We keep taking one out, which leads me to the 15-year potentially. I don't want to. I hope my boss doesn't see this, but it could potentially be going away. Not entirely sure yet, because, like I said, we will be the 18-year will come in.
They should do throwbacks.
They should.
Like whatever the math is,
Yep.
right? You've been open for X amount of time, like 30 or 40 year anniversary or whatever, like throw in a 14-year, bring back a 15-year. If you discontinue it, whatever, like business is business. But if you do a throwback, it's just going to reignite the fan base.
The problem is with this, and it's a good problem to have and a bad problem to have too, because these are such small batches, and you think, again, going back to the single rack rickhouse, when you take a 15-year and you only have 19 barrels of each and you grab it from the single rack, eventually that is all going to be going away. So how can you replicate that again?
Yeah, well,
so
yeah,
you
you
have a
can't.
fan base of that 14-year.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can replicate it. And if you bring that back as a 14, someone that is a huge fan of it is going to be like, this isn't the 14 that I used to love. I'm not going to drink this anymore.
Then make them a T-shirt instead of reproducing the bottle, and just be like the 14-year OG. You know what I mean? Like just something.
Something, yeah.
It's a good problem to have, though, because you can have this many expressions and them all taste different. Like, I'm excited to try the 16 because technically it's another single rack from what I see on the label, but it's just 1 year older, one proof higher.
Bro, look how dirty it is. Look how dark this is.
That is pretty
It's
dark.
just, it's just dark and dirty. You know, it's just amazing.
That's the 8. Yep, you could definitely
Dirty
see
in
Yeah.
a good way.
8-year.
So
So,
listening.
these are single rack. Do you know what rack they are? Are they second?
It tells you specifically
okay.
the rack number, so I don't know what this means, but
gotcha.
P2615.09. I don't know. You know, these
Like
rick
where
houses-
it is?
Yeah, these
Right.
rick houses
Yeah.
are huge. You
Yeah.
can imagine, the size of.
May I?
Oh, please, yeah. That is the yep. And it's just so it's so funny how different these two bottles are, the 15, 16 year, because it's the same juice. It comes from pretty much right where same spot in the rick house.
All right,
It's just
before
1 year.
before you do that, give me a second.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do? Oh, should probably take this off first. What we're going to do? You and I have drank from the same glass before. This is nothing unusual. So we're going to do a little taste
Because it's the
comparison.
least of my concerns.
We're going to do a little taste comparison between the 15 and the 16 because these are so close together.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they differentiate.
Yeah.
So drink the 16 and then this is the 15. So I'm sorry, I cut you off a little bit. What were you saying about the 16?
Just how different.
Oh, yeah.
Different it is
Yeah.
than the 15. And you're looking at 1 proof higher, so 106 compared to 105. Again,
Come on.
both right in the center of the rick house. It's just the different rack.
So
Oh, dude, this nose is amazing.
these are probably different warehouses too, I would assume, because one of them is rack W and one of them is rack P. I don't know how many rick houses Bardstown has. Thoughts?
That's it.
Ooh, yeah.
That's so good.
Oh, thanks.
So, I'm going to go back to when you go into Addie's because these are so similar that if you don't have somebody like Tyler that is manning what is coming in and what's going to sell, it would be very difficult, I feel like, to be in your shoes and to say, these are 1 year apart, they're one proof apart, you should buy both. So when you go in, how do you sell these two?
They're a big store, but I usually, my selling point is just saying, because you're looking at, these are pricey, and you expect that, but I don't expect anyone, I go in there not expecting anyone to buy a full case of each. I just say, listen, start with 3 bottles of each. They look great on the shelf. I think they sell themselves. And again, Buffalo is our biggest market for Calumet, so people know us.
Nationally, or is that just New York?
Oh no, New York.
Okay, I
New
gotcha.
York. Nationally, I mean, I'm sure they do very well elsewhere, but yeah, Buffalo does really well with them. And so I just tell people, listen, take in a bottle, just one bottle,
Sure.
and if it sells, it sells. And then they say, okay, you know what? And it just looks so good on the shelf. They have a cabinet over there, and it's just one of those things where you don't find that many 15, 16-year bourbons for. Obviously you're Pappy, but that's what, $2,000 for
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the 16 for this? How much is this?
16. You're looking at around 165.
Okay.
About
Try the 15 now, and feel how soft and delicate that 15 is. When we tried the 15 after the 10, it was delicate, and now you try that after the 16. That is not harsh, but harsh in comparison to the 15. They're vastly different.
Yeah, they are.
I honestly don't know if I've had two label similar bottles before back to back. I don't know if I've ever done that before.
They're so buttery, and it's insane to me because do you know where the barrels are from? Is it all Sam Houston? Like what cooperage are the barrels from?
Oh, cooperage?
You know what? My boss told Tyler actually because it was supposed to be a secret, so I can't even disclose it.
Understood. That's fine.
if
We'll
I-
leave it at that.
Tell us offline.
Yeah, because
I
my
remember
question is,
correctly.
how in the world, and I'm sure Tyler asked the same question, how are you getting this difference within not only a year, but with that mash bill? How is it so soft? It doesn't make sense. For the the only time I've had something this soft was
St. Lawrence, man. I'm telling you.
St. Lawrence, and then the second is Clonakilty because the blend of malted and unmalted barley makes it soft. The rye is what gives it that kick and the pepper and the punch in the face.
And we have a high rye.
You do.
18%, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating that it's that buttery and it's that soft. Where is the grain coming from? Where is it grown? How is it so gentle?
Right, yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's so dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, so when you compare these two, the 16 is definitely hotter. Can we agree on that?
Yeah,
it's definitely
no doubt.
spicier.
No doubt, yeah.
The 15 to me drinks like a younger whiskey, which is a testament to how well that rounds out, how well that barrel rounds out the harsh notes of a 15-year.
I got a lot of questions for this head distiller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions for him because
me
I just
too.
don't understand how, because his palate's an ace.
Yeah.
It's top grade. It doesn't,
So this is 19 barrels too.
Yes. Yep. Like I said,
and we're going up 0.5%.
This is the closest
It's
you
a
can have in
0.5%.
comparison,
Yep.
and it's so different. This is really cool. Honestly,
I
thanks for
love
sharing
this.
with us
Yeah,
because
thank
this is a really cool tasting experience.
yeah. Because again, the lineup is just you don't see this often. I can't name another bourbon company that has 5 different SKUs of just ages.
Right.
Some I don't know. Jack Daniel's does the blends and whatnot, but you just get 8, 10, 15, 16, 8, 15. It's
So I know that you can't really disclose. Yep.
Maker's Mark. That was our master distiller. He would have.
That's where he was
Oh,
at
okay, I
before.
gotcha, yeah,
Okay.
So I know that you can't really disclose too much, but are there future view for Calumet? Are there different small batches that they're coming up, blending the 16 and the 10, or what is next for the brand, or is it just running with the product that they
We
have
just
now?
run. You know what I mean? Like I said, bringing back to the bird dog. I woke up to an email saying they're discontinued. That's how I get my news.
Yeah.
The like I said, it's in the talks of an 18-year 100. It may not happen. Everything, like I said, has to go through Brad Kelly, the owner, and I couldn't tell you really everything, and I like that, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's kind of like
I feel like this. So, full transparency with you and everybody that listens to us, we're generally not huge fans of Kentucky products just because a lot of them do taste the same. But this has opened my eyes quite a bit to the variations when you put all 5 of them in front of you at one time.
What's possible?
Yeah. But I also think that has a lot to do with Bardstown as opposed to MGP.
Yeah,
Because
it's this is why the head distiller role is as important as it is in the industry. Yeah, because you're not only experience, but opinions, flavor profiles, palate. Like, you're going to get that with each different person. So to have that as your head distiller, like, you can't. Again, like, that's why he is what he is, right? And that's why he's respected the way he is. It's just very fascinating that you're able to pull and extract what you're able to pull and extract out of these year ranges with what's being offered. It's just a testament to everybody. Like, it's to me, this lineup really showcases the true professionals in the industry. And it's, I don't know, dude, I really want to do a Wednesday whiskey review with one of these because our last question is, would you have one of these or whatever we review, would you have it in your collection? Right. The answer is yes. Not only because of label and branding, it's going to pop, but it's damn good juice.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what Calumet does in the future.
Me
because
too.
I have a feeling, just based off of how you've been talking about how he's like, whatever happens, that there's going to be a lot of products that come out of Calumet that aren't able to be called a bourbon, but are going to be, like you're talking about, strange collaboration. I could totally see Calumet coming out with like a secondary finished Pinot barrel.
Oh,
because that would fit this so well.
Or a port.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just going to completely change dynamics.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
I've been with them, like I said, for a little more than a year, and they've already done, we didn't have this. This was our new mash. This wasn't in here, so we had a 14-year. It just keeps changing, and like I said, it's unpredictable, which I understand, but it's also exciting because then something new comes out.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, try this. 18-year. It's so. But hey, thanks again. They make good stuff. The 14-year. I wish I reserved. You know what? To be honest, there's a store in not Buffalo, near Amsterdam. They bought 50 cases of our 14-year when we announced it was going away, just because it was that good. But yeah, I'm just saying, if you ever see a bottle of 14-year Calumet, grab it. You're looking at 96 proof. I couldn't tell you price because
changes.
Everyone's different. Yeah,
it is, and like you can't find it anymore, so people can jack it up. People can so just letting you know, 14-year or even a Sam Houston 15-year, both great products. If you see them, grab them while you can because they're no longer here.
So if you were talking to somebody that is looking to understand Calumet, what would you choose them to first try? Like, what is a good representation of what Calumet has?
I'm biased. I always have people try the 8-year because I've seen majority of people have this as their preferred. But obviously the non-chill filters, the 15-year. I see a lot of people like the 15 over the 16-year. That's me, honestly.
It is, yeah.
So, it's everyone's palate's different. If I can twist people's arms, I say, try them all.
Yeah.
And because people will find at least one out of this lineup that they like.
Yeah.
So,
what would be your favorite?
I was just thinking that.
Well, what would be your favorite? Yeah, exact question.
And
I would say 15. Because it's still a high enough proof, but it was so incredibly smooth. The 16 was fantastic, but it tasted like a 115 to me. And this 15 was just beautiful. I can see myself making such bad decisions after drinking a couple of these because you just forget it.
I'm in that same caliber and same boat with the 16-year. The 16 is my pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it doesn't make sense that a 16 is that buttery. It's not fair. Something's wrong. That's not fair.
And this is another one that you can't really find right now because.
Correct.
Did I tell you we stopped making this? Nope, I shouldn't say that. We stopped bottling this because we're reserving barrels for next year's whatever we do.
So it's next year?
That's
is when, the 100 year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So 1924 is when the farm was established.
I got you. Sure.
I just want to shake people's hands.
Dude, maybe so next year. Can you come back on? and we'll
100%.
talk about it.
100%, yeah. And we may even have, like I said, something maybe new, something,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what 1 year will bring us. So
Can I try this 8 again, just to kind
feel
of
free.
do a
Well,
little comparison with that 16? Dude, this is going to be so soft. It's going to be so soft and sweet. This is going to be perfect.
It's gonna be a joke.
Yeah.
16 to 8 is literally half. I'm not good at math, but I can do that.
Jesus Christ.
Here's your little dabble.
No, I don't need to do the comparison. You just want to drink it yourself.
No. There you go. 16 and 8. Have fun. Live your life.
Appreciate you. So,
Where can people find you on Instagram?
yeah.
say that again.
Where can people find this brand and, everybody on Instagram?
So Calumet Farm Bourbon, we have an.
It tastes like water. Just try it.
The actual farm has an Instagram, and the brand Calumet Farm Bourbon. They both have Instagrams. I mean, if you want to follow the farm, you can. They just post horses all day.
I mean, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, but the actual bourbon, again, you're looking at pictures of this, but we have, we're on social media, Bird Dog. People know us more for Bird Dog. Upstate New York, one of the biggest bird dog markets in the country.
Really?
Pennsylvania, New York, we're in the top 3, I believe, top 3. But and that's without New York City, because I feel like New York City doesn't do too well with Bird Dog. But they do well with the Bird Dog bourbons, because the Bird Dog bourbons are very entry level. You're looking at $20 a bottle.
Sure.
Which actually, I do have a bottle of the Bird Dog 7-year. I should have started with that, but it's
Go grab it. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to. We'll try it out. Because have you had Bird Dog?
Yes,
Have you?
I have.
I don't know if I've ever had.
I had. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe when I see the bottle out. Never had it.
One of my childhood best friends who deserted me and moved away out of New York and went south. Loved him to death, but I always give him a hard time for doing it. It completely made sense, but whatever. He goes, "Hey, I just had Bird Dog. Like, thoughts? Like, there's a dog on label. Like, we both love dogs." And I was like, "All right." And he tried it, and then we ended up experimenting with it, and then had a couple different cocktails out of Bird Dog, because there's tons of different flavors with it. But yeah, dude, Bird Dog's everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if I've
It's
ever had
literally
it.
everywhere.
We have 12 flavors right now.
Yeah.
12.
So it's a flavored whiskey?
Yeah. So peach is pretty good.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
So
Sure.
peach is pretty good. Blackberry is like famous. Like, you kind of put them on the map.
Yep.
And then they have like this I've never had, but there's options.
Oh yeah, a lot of options.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
But you can't have this anymore? Here, down the 16.
you
Oh yeah,
can-
down to 16. That's a casual, just crush this 106 proof.
The so Bird Dog, like I said, we're known for the flavors, but we also we have 2 Bird Dog bourbons. We have our 4-year, just your plain Kentucky bourbon. It's 84 proof, and that's what we make the flavors out of. All our flavors are 80 proof too. That's a very good selling point for me, and I love that they taste exactly how they sound.
Sure.
You'll try, I don't know, a lot of flavored whiskeys, but they taste how they sound.
Yeah.
And again, they're 80 proof, very good value on them. You're looking at like $20 a bottle. But the bourbons, again, the 4-year that runs around $20, and our small batch 7-year that they make is retailing around $25 a bottle for a 7-year bourbon.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And it's a real cork.
Yeah. But it's obviously, you went from the Calumet to the Bird Dog. It's probably, it's
Yeah,
definitely.
we
not-
should have done the other way around.
I should have done the other way. But for the value, it's just a phenomenal, great everyday bourbon. You can it makes great Manhattans and old fashions.
So where do they source this from?
That's Bardstown as well.
That's Bardstown as well?
It's just not as centrally
gotcha.
located
Sure.
in the Rick House. You're looking at, not the more premium barrels up top, down low.
This is fascinating because this is a price point for a bourbon that you don't see often at all.
No.
I mean, think of the other whiskey that is available for this price point. You're not getting a straight bourbon for this.
This is at Eddie's as well?
I don't believe the 7-year is now.
Okay.
No.
All right, Tyler, you got work to do.
Well, it's gone, bro.
It's gone, or just it's gone?
I could check my inventory, but once we sell out of what we have right now, that's it.
We got to review it before it leaves.
Yeah.
Give it a last hurrah.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
356 cases.
That's it? Left?
356, yep.
In New York State?
In New York State.
So when is 7 years for $25? 25, you said?
25, yeah.
You can't beat that.
I don't know if I've ever seen it before.
No, we haven't.
And what's
dude,
cool is that this is
we're-
very different than
We're
this.
at 100%. We're at 4 years. We're approaching our 4th year. A 7 year at $25, that doesn't exist in our universe.
That's, yeah.
Maybe Calumet will come out with a younger bourbon that is similar to this.
Yeah. Hopefully, my Long Island partner, he...
Long Island.
Long Island. He's got that accent too. And he wants us to slap on, instead of doing like the Bird Dog 7 year, maybe a Sam Houston.
Yeah.
Type, you know what I mean? Because I feel like that because a lot of bourbon people know Sam Houston.
I'm just saying, a 7 year Bird Dog with a bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper cap. You know, I mean, you can't beat that.
But I mean, you talk about this one, which is 45, right? You said 45 for the 8 year?
Yep.
I wouldn't even go lower than that though.
No,
like
absolutely not.
25 is such an affordable price point that it doesn't even make sense in today's day.
The fact that dog is in the name, you got to raise the price. I mean, everybody loves dogs.
You're right.
You got to raise the price.
You're right.
And those cat people, they're not drinking whiskey. You know, they're drinking those weird malt seltzers. Yeah.
Do either of you have dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We both do.
If you have a bottle of Bird Dog, snap a picture of your dog and the Bird Dog bottle, and they usually repost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if any viewer
Let's
has
go.
any Bird
Let's
Dog-
grow the brand, baby. Let's grow that brand.
Yeah, they have 28,000 followers, I believe. So yeah, they're a lot more well known than.
I mean, a little less than us. No big deal.
That's fine. So anything else around Calumet that we haven't talked about, or anything else around the brands in general that we haven't discussed?
Now that I can think of, no.
See, it's easy, man.
Yeah,
It's easy.
Yeah.
We're just here for a good time.
It is. No, seriously, this is great. And I mean, I was nervous at first. I'm just kind of relaxed, obviously, by my body language. But
Yeah. So what are we doing? What are we talking about now? The Bills? No. So you said the Calumet Farms and the Calumet Bourbon Instagram pages where you can find all the products and stuff like that. Like what? How else is there a website or anything that people can plug in? Like, where can I find Calumet 15?
Yeah. How can we help support you guys?
we do have store locators on. So Bird Dog Whiskey has their website.
Let's go.
And Calumet Farm has their own website.
Yep.
And you can see all about the bourbons. You know, across the whole line, you can read about the bourbons, and they are store locators for the Bird Dog and the Calumet. So you just punch in, your zip code, and you'll be able to locate. I think you can even buy.
Oh, okay.
Online.
Have it shipped.
I believe so, yeah. But yeah, so like I said, punch us in Safari and read about us if you want. But I think
Safari? What year were you born in?
Chrome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I always say that because
Safari. Internet
Most-
Explorer.
Yeah,
Just use dial-up. and
Mozilla Firefox. Just search it for us. Help us out.
I only said that because my iPad has Safari. That's the last search engine I saw.
It's funny.
So I said that.
But if you're in the Buffalo area, go download the Addie's app, Addie's Fine Wine and Spirits in the Google Playground Play Store or the Apple App Store, and you can check out Calumet because they have some of these options here, and they're always at an affordable price. So go download that app, go buy them from the Addie's, and I mean honestly, you have to try them, and don't be off-put because they're Kentucky. Don't discount them. Really try them and sip them because these are some fantastic offerings that are very different, even though they're the same mash bill. So honestly, man, thank you so much for coming on and showing us the differences between all this stuff because I'm pretty shocked.
Me too. I mean, the label, when you pulled these out of your bag, I was like, okay. I should not have worn jeans. Okay. And then we started drinking, and I'm like, this is really damn good juice. It's a testament. It really is to the entire team, from you and everybody else involved with the brand. It's really well made. So thank you for being on our show. We appreciate it. In 1 year, don't leave. You're coming back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to force you to come back regardless of where you are in life.
That's fine.
And we're just going to get after it.
Down in Syracuse.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna pull you from Pasquale's or whatever liquor store that is in Liverpool.
Pascal's.
Yes, Pascal's, and we're gonna get after it. So it'll be fun. But thank you so much for your time, man. We appreciate
Hey,
it.
thanks for enjoying too.
Yeah.
I didn't know you weren't the biggest fans of Kentucky bourbons, but I'm glad I got you on these ones at least. I'm glad you enjoyed them, Tyler. Thanks for making all this possible, and everyone else, if you see some bottles like this,
Pick them up.
pick them up. Yeah, try them out.
Definitely a buy. So thanks everybody. Appreciate it. And thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Have a good day.